Hello, everybody. Tired of the hypocrisy signing in on this fine Saturday morning. In Southern California, we're dealing with high 80s today, and we're going to have 90 degrees tomorrow. Uh, that's going to be quite a time. It's not even quite springtime yet, and we're already having summer weather. I guess SoCal is going to get gypped out of a spring again. Now, I wanted to talk about St. Patty's Day, St. Patrick's Day, El Dia de San Patricio. Well, it's coming up on Tuesday, and I was talking with a very dear person in my life, and uh, I mentioned that I thought that St. Patrick's Day had something to do uh, with him being a saint because he apparently drove the snakes out of Ireland, but that is, in fact, some kind of a legend. So I did have that much to be right. But the more research I did, I found out that apparently there never have been any snakes in Ireland because it's surrounded by the icy cold waters of the Atlantic, which would pretty much disallow any snakes from migrating from Europe or the Americas over to Ireland. But anyway, the subject of St. Patty's Day came up, and it brought back to me bad memories of growing up as a Jehovah's Witness and having to deal with the different holidays that are proscribed, vilified by the Watchtower Society. Such things as Christmas and Easter and St. Patrick's Day, Mother's Day and Father's Day, Labor Day and Memorial Day, all kinds of holidays that are really not allowed by the Watchtower. The adherence to the seven jackasses in New York who call themselves a governing body, they have to obey what those fools up there tell them to believe. And I can remember things like having to endure a great number of indignities and physical pains, even because of my theocratic uh, integrity. Not having been baptized until I was already, 19, I guess, but all through school, from starting with the first grade when my folks were first starting to study with the witnesses, I was already being persecuted by a teacher because I didn't salute the flag. And she would rally the kids against me to make fun of me, and one kid even drove a sharpened pencil into my upper thigh as I remained seated, and I had this pencil sticking out of my leg, and I wasn't even allowed to go to the nurse's office. St. Patty's Day was probably one of the more painful ones physically because all the kids were told by the teachers to pinch the hell out of us for not wearing green. And I'm wondering, is that still going on even today? Do people still pinch you on St. Patty's Day if you don't wear green? Maybe that was just a regional thing in northern New Mexico or central New Mexico where I grew up. Um, thank God for Mrs. Ross and Mr. Maggard. Mr. Maggard was my fourth grade teacher at Tomasita Elementary School, and Mrs. Ross was my fifth grade teacher at Tomasita Elementary School. Mr. Maggard was a World War II veteran who served in the South Pacific, and he had a great heart for children. I am guessing because he told us so many stories of his days in the South Pacific during the war of little children being half starved and starving to death. And Mrs. Ross was also a great lover of children. What these two teachers did, See, when I came home from the first grade, I had a Mrs. Shadone up in Espanola, New Mexico. She was a staunch persecutor of Jehovah's people. And she pinched me, and she had all the kids pinch me. They just took turns pinching me and trying to, make fun of me because I wouldn't wear green on St. Patrick's Day. And so I show up at home all bruised up and messed up and crying. And little 6-year-old kid crying on his mama's shoulder, oh, pinch me, mama. So the next year when St. Patty's Day came along, she tried to keep me home from school, and she talked it over with some people, and they said, no, 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 you can't hold him back from school. He's got to maintain his integrity. You've got to send him to school and have him go through that. And I don't know. I went, and every year went to a different school the next year because they changed the district around or something. And I actually had my brother with me when I was in second grade. He was in first grade. And, it was the same deal, But it wasn't so hard because the teacher wasn't rallying all the kids against me. It's just kind of every once in a while somebody noticed that I'd have a little shamrock on or something. I'd get a little pinch here or there. It wasn't that bad. But starting in fourth grade, Mr. Maggard, he saw me on the playground being pinched by some of the other kids from other classes, and he cut out a green shamrock and he pinned it to my shirt so that I wouldn't have to endure all that. And the next year in Mrs. Ross's class, she was real familiar with witness families, and she did everything she could to circumvent any suffering that her kids in her class had to deal with. And thus I showed up on Wednesday wearing every color in the rainbow I could pick from, but it just couldn't be green that day. And so Mrs. Ross made a little shamrock for me, and she pinned it to my coat and or my shirt sleeve or wherever, She kept me from getting pinched all day long. She was a real sweetheart too. But it's just amazing to me how those assholes in New York that call themselves the governing body, who apparently govern nothing and are not answerable to the Watchtower, but they call all the shots, and whoever has to endure whatever, whether it's beatings and rapes in Malawi or kids being pinched on the playground for not wearing green on St. Patrick's Day, they never seem to have to answer for any of that. They don't have to be pinched or raped or beaten or anything because they're just sitting up in their ivory tower and they just poo-poo down on everybody, whatever they feel like poo-pooing upon them. So, I don't know, that's just my take on St. Patrick's Day and holidays and the like. Everybody enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. Have a green beer for me, and I'll hope to talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.